Hello, everybody. Welcome to She Did It. This is our web live series here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Join us in a conversation with women and her successes to inspire and motivate you to take the leap of faith into starting or growing your business. So She Did It is a movement created by Karine Aristide, and its mission is to help female entrepreneurs and connect and grow both professionally and personally. So today I'm so excited to be interviewing our next woman here and how she did it. So I'd like to introduce you to Jo-Anne Chow, who is the principal and creative director of Brand Creek Creative. Jo-Anne is a seasoned and award-winning creative leader, brand builder, and marketing expert with over 25 years of agency and corporate hands-on experience. So after she left the corporate world about 2 years ago, she took the plunge into entrepreneurship and never looked back. So today, so welcome, Jo-Anne.
Thank
Welcome
you,
to the show.
JoAnnes.
She did it. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, aside from my business, I'm a mom to two awesome kids. I have a 16-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old boy who we're just going through the trials and tribulations of getting back to school right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a wife, I'm daughter, sister. I love my work. I love to be creative. One of my things that I love the most is just getting outside, whether it's going for a walk in the woods, being by the lake. We live close to the lake here. I live in a suburb of Toronto and love to get in the kayak whenever I can. And just today I was out fishing with my son. So that
Nice.
was wonderful. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I collect my thoughts.
Oh, so yeah, living by the water. And I think that how it inspired you with your own logo of Brand Creek, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me, how did you know that you were destined to become an entrepreneur?
That's a great question because I didn't know I was destined. I think I fought it a little bit. Well, more than a little bit. I think I fought it for about 25 years. I grew up in a conservative household with three older brothers and white collar family, and whose vision of success was to work for one company for 50 years and get a gold watch when you retire. So I kind of faced, I was the only creative one really in my family. So that was a little bit off gear.
Mhm.
But when I went through the corporate rigmarole for years and agency, and I had been through many different changes within the corporate world, and the final one was when, just like every other time, management changes, culture
Mhm.
shifts, and it happens. It just happens. And no matter how hard you work or how many times you improve and get promotions, it doesn't matter. And it's your success and so isn't ultimately in somebody else's hands. So that happened to me for the last time, and I just decided to leave the company. And I'm very grateful for that. And I don't think it was really a conscientious decision per se. I didn't weigh the pros and cons. I just knew I wasn't going back. I just knew it.
That's awesome. So tell me, what was the key driving force to make the jump then to the corporate thing? But then what else inspired you to go full-time entrepreneurship?
Well, there's a saying about making sure you have a seat at the table. It
Mm.
falls in line with breaking the glass ceiling, that whole thing. And after years of, trying to make sure I had a seat at the table, I saw an Instagram post and this woman had said she's making her own table. And I thought, yeah, I can make my own table too. And that was like the driving force, as well as a very big driving force was meeting other professionals and getting some mentorship.
Mhm.
I'd really like to, can I tell them who my mentor was?
Sure, you can.
So it was JoAnne Malone. I was fortunate enough when I left my company to be work with JoAnne, and I actually didn't want to work with her in the beginning because I really didn't want to, in my heart of hearts, I didn't want to go back to a full-time corporate job, and that's what um, JoAnne's role was, um, to help me put a resume together and get back in there. But as soon as I met her, I said, "I'm sorry." Hope I wasn't too rude, but I said, I'm really not interested. And when I told JoAnne what I wanted to do, I she jumped right on that. And right, do you remember that?
Yes. Oh yeah, I
And you
remember
said, "Oh,
like
I
it
can
was
help you, I
yesterday.
can help you, I can help you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? Really?" And you were just such a resource, such an inspiration. You motivated me. And I mean, honestly, I don't know what I wouldn't have done without you, but for everybody else out there, if you can get that one person to be a cheerleader, it's so motivating and inspiration. They light a fire within you, and then you start meeting more people of like mind, and then you realize you can do this. You can do this. It's baby steps that you can do it. Yes, and you should, because things like COVID happen and you can't depend on security, unfortunately, these days.
Mhm.
So glad.
Yeah, exactly. So how have you pivoted, or how have you been able to cope with COVID and things like that with your business?
Well, I think it came maybe at a good time because summer slows down a little bit for me. So I've been able to take advantage of that timing this summer to be with family and have a little bit of downtime.
Hmm.
Um, and to be honest, a lot of my clients, the business has not been busy. However, I've been very fortunate in that one of my clients, they do supply chain management. So they're a tech company, and in these times, they're ridiculously busy. So good fortune, good luck that I already was working with them. But I would say look for those companies that are busy, like healthcare, manufacturing, those types of businesses need help fast, and communications, getting the word out. Um,
Hmm.
it's such a quick turnaround for so much messaging right now that that's a good thing to get in tune with.
Yeah, so it's still a good idea to network, but doing one-on-one even and connecting with people. There's so many social platforms out there with Facebook groups and LinkedIn that, we can stay connected that way and to reach out. Not be, because of COVID doesn't mean that, yes, we have to stay home, but we can still reach out. And with today's technology, we still can do that, right? Which is so
So
we
much more important now than it ever has been.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So so how would you define success right now? Like what is the key ingredient to your success, would you say?
Okay, so success for me is synonymous with happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, happiness is freedom. And
Mm-hmm.
so often success, has dollar signs in it, right?
Yeah.
And I struggled with that for a while because I thought, well, I want to make this much a year. And it's true, I do. But the reason I want to make that much a year or bring in that kind of income is so that I can have freedom to do
Mm-hmm.
the projects I want, to work on the things I want, to help the people I want to help. Um, but again, I went through with some help of a mentor, JoAnne, and I did my ikigai. I wanted to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
So my ikigai is my driving force behind the reasons why I wake up every day and what drives me.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through this whole training system and realized that the things that I want and what I love, how they interact with each other. And it's not just about my work, but it's about how that interacts with the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I love the outdoors, I love creating. Um, I know I need financial security. I know the world needs that. And I can combine all of those things, the
Yes.
creativity, when I bring it to my clients and align those things with what my clients' needs are. And if I can, when I find clients that have the same values, that kind of gets my motor running.
Yeah, yeah, because a balanced life, it's so important to have all uh the component in our life, like, family, the financial, spiritual, health, and so on, to have that a balance in all those area of your life, and to, you know, to aim for that, that is so important. So working with, like you said, the clients you want, your ideal client, which is so important to identify. And because there are 7 billion, over 7 billion people in the world. So, you know, you cannot serve all of them, but there are people that are like-minded, people that you will be working with, and that's who you should be concentrating on, right?
Mhm. Very true.
Yeah,
Yep.
which, you know, in other words, like also, like, how would you, like, how do you measure your success right now? Like, you know, for, do you have any metrics, or how do
Mhm.
you measure, you know, your business?
So this summer it's been a little different because I've been a little bit more free flowing and I've taken a lot of time off. So I feel like it's a spring right now for me because September is happening and new schedules will be brought in and I can start measuring again. So
Yeah,
this summer I wasn't great at that. However, if I look back, you know, I was happy and happy is success. So I measure my success on the memories I made this summer for sure.
yes.
Um, Prior to that, when I first started, I had a friend, Deb Lawson, who
Mhm.
helped me put together. She's wonderful. She helped me put together a an Excel document. It was financially focused, and it
Mhm.
allowed me to measure, to determine which, first of all, what I wanted to make a year. So I figured out what I wanted to make a year based on what I needed and what
Mhm.
I would be comfortable with. And then it helped me decide, would I charge per hour? Would I charge per project? Would I charge per month? That kind of thing. So that was like one tool that I used. The other tool that I use is I have a journal that I write in every day. And that kind of gives me a little bit of a cringe, if I have to be honest.
Mhm.
When I hear the word journal, I'm not like a, I am artistic and creative, but when I hear the word journal, I'm not a writer. I can write, but I'm not like a flowy creative writer, but it's more of like a list of the things I want to do for the day
Mhm.
and a list of things I want to achieve in the
Yeah.
next, what's my top 10? What does success look like to me? Like my house would be finally designed perfectly and we'd have a vacation property. And you know what? I've had things on there that I've checked off. I needed to buy a new car and I've done that. Or I wanted to hire a maid and I've done that. And Deb also gave me this little tip where it's a clear jar and I have sticky notes. And every time I meet one of my goals, I wanted to buy this couch. I loved this couch and it was
Yeah.
so expensive. But you know what? I did it. I got the right couch
Awesome.
and
Yeah.
damn it, I bought this couch. Excuse me. And my sticky note is in there that I got this couch and my kayaks and a car. And those things, they are material things, but like the kayak gives me freedom, you know,
Yeah.
and the car gives me freedom to go. It's not a super expensive car, but honestly, I never thought I'd be able to afford another vehicle right now. Being an entrepreneur, banks don't love that. It's not the most secure
Mhm.
thing. But I saved up some money, got a great down payment, and a great car. So
That's awesome.
that's another tool I use is to kind of put my goals down, and when I reach them, I am able to find them the following year and see that I can do this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Because, you know, we sometimes put too much emphasis on money. But what is money? You know, it's energy, and things like that. But if you focus on the things that you want to do with money, like you say, like the couch or the car, those are the things you need to aim for, because
Mhm,
that's what's going to give you pleasure. And like you say,
mhm.
yeah, you need the money, but it's also the energy. Your energy was focused on the car, and somehow you got it.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's a great, I love the jar
I
trick.
know.
You know,
It's a good
that's a
thing.
great exercise. And then at the end of the year, you can look at your jar and say, oh, wow, this is awesome. And just to
Yeah,
know that
exactly.
you want to put that note, you know, that sticky note in the jar. So that's cool.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
It's
so
fun.
do you believe there is a winning formula for becoming a successful entrepreneur? Like, and like, what is yours? Do you have a winning formula for your success?
It's funny because if someone were to ask me this, to give somebody advice and what their winning formula should be, I would tell them this, but I never often think about it myself because success is a journey, right? Am I successful right now? I guess so, but there's always somewhere else I want to go, right? And
Yes.
become more successful. So, however, my standard answer to that is because I truly, truly believe this, and I tell my kids all the time is just don't give up.
Yeah.
That's it. It's that simple.
I
Because
love
yeah,
that.
the
Yeah.
only there's figure skaters and Olympians, and the only reason they got as far as they got is because they got up one more time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true for every success. It's true for learning how to walk, for crying out loud. It's just that's what it is. And sometimes success moves for you too. Like maybe it changes what your vision of success is. It doesn't mean you gave up. It just means you took a different route. But yeah, just keep going. You'll be amazed.
Yeah,
What
it's to have that vision, to create that vision,
Mhm.
and and to hold on to it, and to review it, look at it every day.
Yes,
Yeah, it's to hold on to that.
very important.
And we were talking earlier, and you were telling me about your ski jet analogy. I love that. If you fall, you can get back on, or what was it?
We went up to cottage country, and I gave my daughter a jet ski for the day for her 16th birthday. I know I'm a little bit crazy, and she's a speed demon, so she wanted to take me out naturally and scare me. But little did she know I love it. But anyway, we got out there, and they had trained us beforehand on what to do if you fall, etc. So sure enough, we fell, and not only did we fall into the water, we flipped the jet ski. Apparently, I wasn't supposed to lean a certain way, whatever.
Mhm.
But anyway, she was pretty good, and you know what? We were trained on how to get back on, and it was really fun. Though we fell, it was really
That's
fun,
great.
and we had to flip it over, and we had to climb back on. And a lot of people might look at that as like, I know the people waiting at the dock for us. Somebody jumped in the boat and got ready to come and rescue us.
Yeah.
But you know what? We got this, and we climbed back on and went back into the dock and had a little celebration. It was fun.
Yeah. So, and like you say, if you flip, you can get back on, right?
Yeah, and then you can have more fun. Know
And
what
then
to do next time.
yeah, because fun is important. It's
Mhm.
it's also the ingredients for a balanced life type of thing. So now tell me, what would you advise to the female entrepreneurs who are considering making the jump to becoming a full-time entrepreneur? What would your advice be to them?
Network, network, network.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you'd be surprised how many people, not just how many people you meet, but how many of your insecurities and fears and questions and all of that kind of scary stuff. Everybody has the same questions and fears and quest for knowledge. Um, I know for some people it's difficult to network. I understand that. Then do it at a slower pace. You don't need to go into a 300-person networking event and sit at a table full of strangers and introduce yourself. You can do it online if you want to, right?
Yeah.
That's easy to do.
Yeah.
And so that's number one. And number two, in no order, is definitely get a mentor. It doesn't have to be super formal. You don't have to say, will you be my mentor?
Yeah.
But through networking, you'll meet somebody that you click with,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it's somebody that's not necessarily a CEO of a bank or something like that,
Yeah.
but it's just somebody you click with and you admire and respect and can
Yeah.
touch base with on a consistent schedule
Mm-hmm.
to have some kind of accountability.
Yes, accountability is so important, I think,
Mhm.
sometimes, even for myself, but even finding the right coach, hiring a coach. But sometimes it's not, it's not always the right coach. So you have to
Mhm.
do a little digging because for
Mhm.
that connection, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be more than one person. Maybe you could team up with a few people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mastermind groups, or, amazing communities like She Did It groups,
exactly.
where you have support there, and it makes a big difference.
I will say with that, that is what keeps me going. When I touch base with other people, there's going to be slumps. It's inevitable. You need to have them so that you can learn how to get over them.
Yes.
Look forward to them because they're little gifts to you.
Yeah.
But if you have someone to reach out to or a network to reach out to, you will find these little blooms of inspiration that will keep you going, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah, because just the interaction and sharing ideas can
Mhm.
really give a boost, or hearing about other people's success sometimes that say, hi, if she did it, I can do it too, right?
And everyone's willing to give.
Exactly.
Everyone wants
Yeah,
to help.
yeah. So let's go to maybe your failures. So share, can you share some of the failures and the best lessons you have learned from them?
I do. I have one specific one. I failed plenty, don't get me wrong, but I do have a specific failure. It was when I was requested to create. There was a proposal I gave a client, and it was a great client. It was in the States, and that was kind of a good big win. They were right up my alley. And so what I did is it was over the phone. It was very casual when I was asked this question, and can you put something together? But I don't just put something together. It's not a brief email. I'm going to do it right. So I jumped through hoops. I did. And I put a pretty complex proposal together.
Mhm.
I got a little bit of work out of it, but certainly not the extent. I got a small task, let's say. I
Mhm.
did not get the extent because they shifted gears and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So my lesson there, because that proposal was good for me and my business because now I have a template from which to work with. So that was worth my time. However, I spent a lot of time
Yeah.
and my time was for them. I gave them a lot of ideas in that proposal. So
Mm.
the next time I was approached by another company, I charged them for the proposal because it's
Excellent.
strategic. It's strategic positioning and marketing and all the things they need to do to get up and running. It's not actually doing it for them, but I charged them the proper price that they needed to be charged. And it gave them a framework as well.
Mhm.
It's not just a proposal, it was a framework and worth their time and energy and money. And I think that they valued it more,
Yes.
So that was one lesson I learned. I'm thankful that I learned it. And I was scared to propose the proposal price, but I did, and it wasn't an issue at all. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
That's awesome. Yes, because as new entrepreneurs, we're so afraid to give up, to ask for like a rate or price or money, or are we giving them the right rate, or should I ask
Mhm,
more, or maybe I should lower it. And and it's the value, like you say, if you feel if it's priced right, then that's the value, and the company is going to
mhm,
also find the value in your product and in you, and all that. So
exactly.
that's great. That's a great lesson. That's awesome. So, so what do successful female entrepreneurs you think have in common?
I learned this from a TED talk, and I can't remember the exact word, but I'm going to try to. Okay, I think it's chutzpah and gusto and go get 'em and that kind of, I can't remember the name, but this woman, I'm sorry, I apologize because I won't do it justice, but there's a woman who had a wonderful TED talk and what she did is measure success. I'm sure some people have heard this. So she went to people who were born of a different culture in a country that wasn't the same culture of theirs. So they grew up with struggle. People who had grew up with a great deal of privilege that graduated from Harvard, people
Mhm.
of different genders, just all different kinds of people that were successful.
Okay.
And I think she studied also people that were not successful, but focusing on the successful people. And the one thing ultimately, despite your income, despite your privilege, despite your non-privilege, the one thing ultimately was oh gosh, what's the word she used? I'll remember it when this conversation goes on, I'll just blurt it out. But I think again, it's like the not giving up and the
Okay.
truly believing. And that comes from not just convincing yourself to believe in it, it's just who you are, right? So
Yeah,
the idea of just not giving up, you have chutzpah, you have gusto,
I love it.
it doesn't mean hustle, like you don't have to work your butt off all the time. You just have to focus and keep on keeping on.
That's great. Well, maybe you can put that TED talk in the message after
I'll
our,
do that. Yeah,
yeah, so
for
that'd be
sure.
awesome. That sounds like a great message. So tell me how you would develop your partnerships right now in business.
So partnerships meaning clients that I would work with?
Clients or even collaborators
Right.
or things like that. Or
So um, it all comes down to building relationships.
yeah.
And that comes back to being yourself
Mhm.
and knowing what your values are.
Yes.
Because those people that you're going to build those relationships with, that you're going to click with,
Hmm.
well, it can't be forced for starters.
Hmm.
That won't work. But those people that you click with and build relationships with will ultimately have the same um, driving force behind what they want their service to be and how they want to serve people and the community. Yeah,
That's
it's just
yeah.
all about building relationships, being consistent with that, and giving.
Yeah.
You know, is so important because through this whole journey, I've been so fortunate to have other people give words of wisdom and
Hmm.
guidance, and you don't have to always take it. You
Yeah.
know,
No.
you're your expert, but you know, give back. We all naturally do it. We're all nurturers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are generous, and
Mhm.
yeah, but it's good. Yeah. Giving is also very rewarding, and receiving as well. So
I think, you know, I do have to say with women
yes.
and this journey that I've been on, like we get it.
Yeah.
I haven't met a single woman in this entrepreneurial from all my networking and everything that hasn't been giving in corporate life. I
Yeah.
have. It was so much more competitive and
Yeah.
backstabbing in some areas, not in all areas, but that was there. I have not seen that
Mm.
in this entrepreneurship that I've been doing. We get it. We got
Yeah.
each other's back.
Yeah. Yeah. We do.
Mhm.
That's so true, and it's a great community. It's a, I've met so many people, even through you, Deb Lawson, and
Mhm.
so many other people that are amazing women that are doing amazing things, and we get inspired by them. So the more that we get together, the more that we get inspired, and the more we make this world a better place to live.
Yep.
Hopefully it's gonna have a ripple effect type of thing.
It will. In 10 years, there will be no glass ceiling because we've all had this experience and are feeding it to our, you know, younger generation. And you
Yes,
just
you're right.
watch like all the CEOs, all the Fortune 500 companies, if that's even a thing, it will be, I'm not saying it will be all women, but there just won't be a glass ceiling.
Yes, and
It,
and that sounds like a great future for for our kids and
yeah.
daughters and things like that. Yeah, absolutely. So let's get to the money right now. So how did you get funded, or what creative strategies did you use to execute, on minimal cash flow when you started? Like, that's at first it's like you say, it's scary, and you're sort of living day by day. So how did you manage all that,
Yeah.
or how did you get funded?
Well, I mean, I'm fortunate in that, you know, my husband, he works, but he was laid off during some times as well.
Mhm.
I had a computer. It was an old computer. I did have to buy a new one, and eventually I was able to save up to do that. But I'm lucky in that the tool I need for my job is a computer and
Mhm.
internet.
Mhm.
So now I was working on a very old, slow computer, but just gotta just gotta make do with what you have.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of expertise in that area because that's the only tool I needed. It was really expensive, the computer I needed, and I was lucky to have that money. But other than that, it's just I had to get some clients,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, and swallow my pride. Although I don't think I like, I was gonna say I don't think I have a lot of pride. I have a lot of pride, but I'm not. I'd like to think I'm not a snobby designer and will only take, you know, a project from Coca-Cola as opposed to anyway, anything helped. And everything you learn from everything anyway. And like I said, everyone's so helpful.
Yeah.
Reach out to the community if you need help. Maybe somebody has a computer out there that they don't need anymore and would love to
Mhm.
donate and help somebody in need, you know? And there's a lot of churches and government services and schools and libraries, although COVID makes it very difficult, but
Yes.
even subscription programs. Like I
Mhm.
didn't know I didn't have to buy my computer. I could have rented one. I didn't know that when I
Yep.
started out. Had I
Okay.
known, and you could write all of the rental cost off.
Yes.
Buy a,
Exactly.
yeah, like I wish I knew that because they
Mhm.
can fix it for me and I rent or write the whole bit off.
Yeah,
So
then you're sort of in a service program, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
And you
exactly. Yeah.
good quality computer every time and it's fixed for you, and that's my next step. I gotta look into that.
That's a good point. And again, it's lessons learned.
Mhm.
And failure is not, it's not a bad thing because we learn from it, or we learn from, maybe making the wrong mistake or picking the wrong platform or program, but it's all
Oh, yes.
lessons learned that then we can share with you can share with the community. This has been such a great time talking with you, having a conversation with you, Jo-Anne. I've known you for a while, but I still love hearing your stories and how you got to where you are today. And yes, she didn't want to talk to me the first time we talked. She thought I was just going to send her back into the corporate world. And she said,
Yeah,
no, she was fighting it.
but you're
No way.
contagious.
What's that?
You're contagious.
And so, so do you have so many parting words for us, and also how can people connect with you, or
Sure. So my website is brandcreekcreative.com, just the way it sounds, Brand Creek, Creek. I know some people like to spell it with an A, but that's not the case. Yeah, so you can reach out to me there. I do primarily work with corporate clients just because that's my, experience in agency and corporate world. However, from time to time, I get requests. Well, often I get requests from new entrepreneurs who are looking for logos. And, it's expensive to brand. They're looking for logos and for their whole brand. And that's an expensive endeavor. It's marketing, which is also an expensive endeavor. And it's a new learning issue.
Mhm.
Being an entrepreneur, I had the same problems, not necessarily with marketing, but other pieces of and I wish somebody could help me with that. Like, I wish I had like a little, for example, with bookkeeping, I
Mhm.
wish I had a package that I could have just picked up and read and be like, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, boom, I'm done. These are the programs I need. It will solve it for me here. That's all I need to worry about. And when I'm ready to hire a bookkeeper, when I have enough money, I can do that. So I have a lot of people reaching out to me for that. And I've decided to put together a package called what did I call it? Branducation 101.
I love it. Yes.
So basically what it is a document, an ebook, if you will, with instructions on how to brand from beginning to end. Because branding isn't just a logo. You already have it in your heart and soul and you know it. It's just a matter of formulating it, sticking to it, consistency, getting the vision together for sure, but it gives all the tips and tricks of professionals without the expense. And it'll
Mhm.
even give you like ways to create your own website and look and feel without breaking the bank, and sources that you can find those things on the deal
Yeah.
to get you going. That's what startups do. They
Yeah.
don't hire big creative geniuses. They just get this stuff done for the meantime. You get your vision, and then they evolve it over time. So
Uh-huh.
this booklet right now, I'm going to be launching it at the beginning of October,
Awesome.
and I'm going to be putting it on half price for our She Did It community for $49.99. I feel, this is tough as an entrepreneur. Like we said,
Mhm.
pushing your stuff, but you know what? That's what we do, girls.
Yeah.
So if you want to get in touch with me, you can do that on brandcreekcreative.com and give me your email address and just give me a little message that you're interested in this document and this guidebook. And in October, I'll let you know. I'll reach out to you and let you know when it's available.
Awesome. So we
Yeah.
will also put all your information in the message group. And JoAnne is also part of the She Did It community. And hopefully she'll be joining us on some networking events. Yeah, please feel free to connect. So thank you so much, JoAnne,
Thank you, Joanne.
for being a guest on the She Did It web series of entrepreneurs. And we look forward to seeing you in the community. And I would encourage everybody to connect with JoAnne. JoAnne is very talented, and we will see you next week. Next week we have some other great guests. On Thursday, I will be hosting a lunch and learn at 1 p.m. And it's all going to be on the ABC of stress management. I did it in French and now I'm doing it in English. So good night, everybody. Good night, JoAnne,
Good
and
night.
wishing
Thank
you
you.
everybody a great evening. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Joanne.